What's up? What's up? It's Dominic D'Angelo. It's a Tuesday. It's Rumor and Innuendo. I'm of adfreeshows.com, SEScoops.com, and OneTrueSportTV.com. Per usual, we have Mr. Robert Karpelis, WD Creative_ish. Robert, how are you today? Happy Tuesday. Uh-oh, you're muted.
Here I am complaining about your audio, and you couldn't even hear me. Oh, now I'm hearing an echo of me on your phone. Damn it, Dom.
I can fix that. Hold on.
I'll let you fix that. Once he mutes himself up. There we go. Jeez. Best producer in all of professional wrestling, podcasting.
It's good to be here. We have Raw to cover. Lots to talk about, I think, from Raw. They hailed from Kansas City, Missouri, Robert. Let's say some shout outs to some people in the chat.
You gotta say hi to the folks who are joining us here. Especially, you know why? Guys, you know why he's like, we gotta say hi to people? Because the first comment from E is plugging one of Dom's other shows.
That's not it, Robert.
Dom, you are a whore for plugging your stuff. And
I read a YouTube comment where
guys,
yes.
If you're interested in plugging your stuff, can we talk about our friends at Blue Chew? That's right, we're starting it off here. You can have better sex with Blue Chew. Blue Chew is the original brand offering chewable tablets. These erection-enhancing tablets help men achieve stronger, harder, and longer-lasting erections for sexual activity. Blue Chew is putting its money where its mouth is and offering you a month free. Process is simple. Sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. Blue Chew tablets are made in the USA and prepared and shipped direct to your door, so you can take them anytime, day or night, so you can plan ahead or be ready whenever an opportunity arises. The best part, it's all done online. No visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, and no waiting in line at the pharmacy. You can literally tune into Bill Alfonso's podcast, hear that screeching voice of a nightmare, and you'll still be ready to go. You can make life easier by getting harder and discover your options at BlueChew.com. We've got a special deal for our listeners. Try your first month of Blue Chew free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring this episode of Rumor and Innuendo. For the love of all things holy, please do not use the Bill Alfonso podcast as foreplay.
Well, you could if you want to. It starts at 7 p.m. live tonight. So
yes.
The option is there. Fun.
No, hearing him use the word daddy, good luck. By the way, if you can still pull it off after, you are... good for you. We'll say to some of the other folks joining us here. Cammy Star says, going to be a long 2 weeks at work. Glad to catch live when I can. Glad you can be here. That's kind of the fun of the show. We do it. It's noon Eastern, so it's like lunchtime for some of you folks. But we got people joining us all over the world, morning, noon, night, late night. And then if you miss the episode live, Cammy or anybody else, there is an audio version of this podcast. You don't have to stare at Dom's incredibly ugly Jets hat. You can just... click on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcast and listen to the audio version, including that weird echo at the beginning that Dom threw out there. Joseph Wade Walters saying, morning rumor heads, Backlash already looking better than Mania. Completely agree. I said this on Working Stiff. You can take the Blue Chew banner off. Thanks, Dom. You can take there it is. Backlash is historically the best pay-per-view of the year, because you've built up all of this momentum for WrestleMania, and now the pressure is off. So you've reset the table. You're starting a new narrative direction. There's going to be fallout from your biggest show of the year, but the creative team, the production team, the talent, everybody kind of gets to relax a little bit, refocus, and move forward. Backlash is usually sneakily my favorite show of the year. And Wrestling Old Head says it's the 25th anniversary of the first Backlash, and it is a star-studded lineup thus far. And lastly, Ron Ward, who's a monster, who's a terrible human being, wrote, "It was Razor's fault, blaming Dom's beloved cat for the reason that there was an audio issue."
It was the echo.
Probably was. I'm a dog guy. Cats, I don't trust them. I don't trust them. I don't like them. Also, Devin Dowling asking, McAfee's going to die, huh? No, we're not. Here's the thing. if we were getting closer to college football season, yes, Pat McAfee would die and be gone for a few months, and then be resurrected after the national championship is awarded, hopefully to the Florida Gators, and hopefully they keep Vance away from the trophy.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that I get that JD Vance is a wrestling fan. I understand that. I know that we've all seen the picture. Have you seen the picture of JD Vance when he was in high school?
Yes, he was like Nikita Koloff.
He was
or
dressed as the
something.
kid at Koloff with a bunch of NWO kids, and you went, and that's when you realize, oh no, I could have been friends with JD Vance in high school. But it's his love of wrestling that made him immediately see a trophy and go, gotta smash that sucker.
Oh my god.
Keep him away from cakes and popes.
Every time.
Yeah. Monday Night Raw last night was hailing from beautiful Kansas City, Missouri, which I kept thinking was Nebraska.
Nebraska.
We kept saying in advance. We're like, oh, where are they? In Nebraska? Nope, they're in Kansas City, Missouri. Home of my friend Kevin Morris, who is not watching right now as he doesn't tune into the show, and that's fine.
I'm glad you shouted him out.
I realize that's what I'm doing here. Dom, a lot of stuff happened on Raw last night. Backlash is suddenly an incredibly well-built pay-per-view. Ironically enough, I believe AEW has pay-per-view coming up. They might use some of that help.
Yeah, they could use a little bit. But yes, we're focusing on Raw, which was from Kansas City, Missouri. And we let off Seth Rollins, Paul Heyman, and Braun Breaker kicking it all off. And Sami Zayn interrupted their like pomp and circumstance to say, hey, Seth, what are you doing? You're being a hypocrite here, aligning with Paul Heyman. And after destroying Roman Reigns and all that stuff. And then Seth, being a friend, said, hey, we're going to give you the opportunity to get traded to SmackDown. You think about it. And they let him think about it, Robert. What did you think of this opening segment?
I love that Seth Rollins is basically doing a variation of the Death Riders gimmick, and is doing it in a more compelling manner. This idea of, I didn't want to have to be the person to create the future of wrestling, but damn it, here I am. And he's treating it in this very mafia way. Not that the mafia is real; it's a myth. It's a creation of fiction, like Star Wars, or that movie Lincoln. Never happened.
I
But
can't say anything either way about
this notion of, you're my friend, I'm going to give you a pass. I'm going to create a pathway for you to get out of here, because it's clear you're not on board with me. So rather than having to crush you, I'm gonna give you the the moment here. Go to SmackDown, and this was the narrative through line throughout the show, which I liked. It was Seth is this delusional visionary, Heyman revealing that Seth does have a significant amount of power. You know, they mentioned later on in the show, it's like telling Sammy, hey, if you leave and you go to SmackDown, you're going to be the number one contender for the WWE title. So it's not leaving purely in cowardice. It's leaving with this reward that's waiting for you on Friday night.
Right. Are you okay with that, putting Sammy in that predicament? Because it's like, yeah, I mean, a world title shot, that's what everybody's wrestling for. So him
But it's
going
it's saving face. That's what I like. It's, hey, you're
Yeah.
going to leave, but you're not leaving with your tail between your legs.
Yeah.
You're leaving for a better opportunity, and you can tell people whatever you want. Let's pretend this segment is not airing on television.
Yeah, yeah. Do you think so? What I really took away from that opening segment too was Seth still has his music, and the crowd still chants along. Are they slow burning this, where he's going, pun not intended, or they're going to get rid of that, or what do you think of that kind of situation? Because it's contradictory to kind of what they're doing, but if they're slow playing, I'm kind of in for it.
Well, they slow played it on the show. You know, in the beginning, his opening promo was old school babyface Seth Rollins.
Yes.
Welcome to Monday Night Rollins. I'm a visionary, revolution, blah, 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 blah. Like all that other nonsense, which is fine. Paul didn't say anything during the opening segment. Braun Breaker didn't say anything. It was a babyface-ish promo from Seth where he's talking about Punk and he's talking about Roman. And I think it was a wrestling old head who said, was it me or did that entire crowd take Ambien? Yeah, there was that point early on where they were waiting for the CM Punk chants, and the fine folks of Missouri, who, Grandpa Simpson would be dead in the cold, cold ground before he recognizes that state. But they were not playing along. They forgot to chant.
Yes.
And I was a little surprised by that moment. However, um, we are now in a situation where Seth was gently nudging himself towards heel, that him and Sammy were having that interaction, which was, hey, I'm going to do what I'm going to do here, man. But I'm going to give you an out. And then by the end of the night, there was no question. This is a heel faction.
Right. Yes. They did kind of close it out very well, I thought, on that. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. Up next, though, we had the first match, which was Robert Rhea Ripley taking on Roxanne Perez. And they protected Roxanne in this. Julia came in and meddled in the business, and Rhea Ripley won by defeating Perez by disqualification. So, did you like this? What do you think of this whole situation going on with Rhea? Her not quite being in the title picture, but she's still in the mix of things. Are you okay with this?
Well, you say she's not in the title picture. Io is the one that came out to make the save for her.
True. Yeah,
So
they're
we
more
are
aligned, right?
teasing this notion, this idea that, hey, eventually we're gonna deal with one another, but right now, the enemy of my enemy is my friend kind of situation, which I know was Becky Lynch line later in the show. But this idea of Io and Rhea are sort of strange bedfellows because they're both dealing with this interference from the NXT folks, Roxanne and Julia. Is getting the WWE audience more familiar with the folks that are from NXT,
Mm-hmm.
which I fully enjoy. Not everybody is watching NXT,
Mm-hmm.
but by constantly reminding you people, Roxanne is well trained. Her and Rhea have wrestled before. She is someone who should be taken seriously. Same thing with Julia. Same thing later on with Stephanie Vaquer. This is how you sort of slowly integrate really talented people onto TV.
Are you saying people care about Stephanie Vaquer?
I'm not
All
going to
right.
say that, Tom. I'm not saying it. I don't appreciate that. I don't like you. Um,
Did you like Logan Paul and Jey Uso on a collision course, Robert? Looks like that's going to be a pretty fun feud, I think, and fitting, I think, for Jey Uso. But what do you think?
Loved it. This was one of the things I had suggested for Backlash. I said the idea that Jey Uso needs an opponent. You're not necessarily immediately jumping to Seth Rollins. They were not doing a Gunther rematch right off the bat. You don't want to beat Gunther 2 months in a row. You don't want Jey to win it and then lose it. So you needed somebody for him to wrestle. And I thought it was going to come out of the AJ Styles match. It could have been AJ. It could have been babyface AJ saying, hey, I'm going to challenge you. And you got Karrion Kross whispering in his ear. Or Logan Paul, who's someone that everybody is going to boo. And this pay-per-view in St. Louis is carried on the back of Randy Orton and John Cena. So the rest of the card, the pressure's off. Like, that crowd is showing up to see hometown boy Randy Orton. They're going to tune in to see John Cena one last time. So you can have a Jey Uso world title match that's not the 1A match, and it's still going to be okay. And Logan Paul served a couple of purposes here. One was to make it seem like everybody's going after Jey Uso when nobody's kind of talking about him. Thank you, Joseph Wade Walters. Premium live event. I can't believe I slipped of the
I know.
tongue.
I
Clearly,
said it,
I'm pay-per-view is a thing of the past. It's a nostalgia term. And Dom, speaking
Ooh,
of
yes.
nostalgia, we're going to talk about our friends at Magic Spoon. Magic Spoon makes high protein, zero sugar cereal and treats reinvented from your childhood, but without all those pesky extra sugar problems that are just look, we're getting older. You don't want to deal with the excess sugar. We know better now than we did when we were 7-8 years old. We knew better about Hulk Hogan now than we did when we were 7-8 years old. We know better now about all the sugar and the teeth rot and all those issues. Magic Spoon has also launched a brand new high protein granola. It's true to Magic Spoon's promise, and it is packed with protein. It is incredibly crunchy. I actually picked up another bag, but I happened to have randomly been I don't know if I want to even say this in the ad because it's not listed there, but I was at Target and they had the Magic Spoon granola, and I was out of the house for a couple hours running errands, and I grabbed myself a bag. I had tried the honey almond, never had the honey almond before. It was delicious. 13 grams of protein, zero added sugar. It kept me fueled. I'm not a man who likes running errands, so I like having the extra fuel in the fire. And you can not only get some fuel in the fire, you can keep some money in your wallet by getting $5 off your next order at magicspoon.com/rumor, or look for Magic Spoon on Amazon or in your nearest grocery store. That's magicspoon.com/rumor for $5 off. The other great thing that Logan Paul was able to serve was, Tony Khan, I want you to pull out a pencil. I want you to take notes.
Is he listening?
Moments that made sense. In the main event of this show, there was the altercation with Sami Zayn and Seth Rollins that led to a Braun Breaker match, and then post-match shenanigans that we're going to get to. Under normal circumstances, you'd be going, hey, wait, where's Jey Uso? Where's Jey Uso? He got attacked by Logan Paul. So not only are you furthering the Logan Paul Jey Uso story by Logan Paul attacking Jey Uso, Jey was not able to come out and save Sami Zayn in the main event. So you weren't sitting there going, hey, why does Sami not have any friends?
Right. Now, very well executed. Logan Paul, I think, is the perfect complement to Jey Uso right now. It's completely understandable why he went over at WrestleMania and everything like that, because you're building towards this world title picture for him. So I like that a lot. Something else I liked a lot was the commentary team they had for the next match, and that's the World Tag Team Title match, the W Tag Team Title match between number one contender. Was it number one? Yeah, number one contender. Sorry,
number one contender match. I love this. It was, wait, what is it again? Talk to the audience. This is always death. I don't know why there's so many Simpsons references going on today, but it's happening.
It's just going down.
It's a Tuesday. You're taking the journey. War Raiders versus Finn Balor and JD McDonough. Commentary, 100% right. New Day, fully on point.
My goodness, yes. They added a whole fun element, really added to the obnoxious heel kind of stuff, but very funny at the same time. So props to them for making it even more entertaining than what it was, too, I think. So we had the War Raiders defeated the Judgment Day. So there you go.
By the way, thanks to Penta.
Yes, thank you.
Which is, you're sandwiching in multiple stories all at once. The idea that the reason this match was happening was because Liv Morgan was manipulating Finn Balor, and Dominic Mysterio taking those little shots of, well, you don't have any gold, so I may as well get you a number one contenders match. That was nice. New Day on commentary being able to tell their story made a lot of sense. War Raiders becoming the number one contenders again made sense. Penta's interference, which then led to a Penta-Gable interaction, made a lot of sense.
Yeah. And then Penta will be able to get his hands on JD McDonough next week. But like Robert just said, he had a little confrontation with Chad Gable over Grande Americana. And he kicked him right in the chest. So we got some good stuff cooking there too, I think, with those guys. Up next, Robert, we had Becky Lynch being confronted by Lyra Valkyria. Becky cuts a very fiery promo here. And so does Lyra. I think so too. I like this segment too, Robert.
Yeah, I like that you liked it enough that you named the episode after it. Yes. Becky Lynch Unhinged. Mm-hmm. It was a good Becky Lynch promo. It was a good reminder of why they let her talk, why they give her the microphone, why they give her those opportunities. It set up Lyra to be able to go in and be the angry bird that we know that she can be, as she is flung, instead of at Green Pigs, at Becky Lynch. And the outcome here is we're going to get this match at Backlash. A lot of physicality, a lot of back and forth. And I loved when Lyra is standing at the top of the ramp and she's posing with her back to the entrance and she gets attacked again.
Yes.
That's all I want. I want just a modicum of realism. We did get more than a modicum of realism in the Rusev promo.
Yes. Man, Robert, you talk about a blending of both worlds. It was Rusev from WWE, but it was also a little bit of Miro, the Redeemer. We got a little bit of that in there too. And very compelling stuff, I thought, and well positioned for him.
I wonder what he was thinking of when he said that he left and was trapped in the abyss.
Yeah, I wonder that too.
No idea. I like that he references the tank. I like that he references that he no longer has the lady.
Yeah.
I thought I read that they had gotten back together. I don't know. Are they back together? I don't. The last thing I want to do is upset him and CJ. But good for them. But yes, this idea of I will redeem you through pain, and I saw the error in my ways, so I'm going to protect you from yourselves by fixing those that are suffering from hubris and wasting their talents. Great direction for him. Great direction for Pat McAfee. I'm going to be able to touch on that briefly, Dom.
Absolutely. So he stood up on the commentators table and cut quite the promo. Spoke not just of Gunther, but of his what he wants to be remembered for, and then did want Gunther in a fight. Nick Aldis, the interim Raw GM for the time
Sorry,
being.
I have to interrupt you before we get to this. Willie Thornbrew has perhaps comment of the day. I've been a wheelchair user my entire life, and I'm willing to help Pat McAfee pick out a really nice wheelchair. Willie can say that because unlike the WWE talent, Pat, as an ESPN employee, gets tremendous health insurance.
Yes.
So it's going to be a great wheel. It's not going to be one of those Kramer discount wheelchairs where the brakes don't work. That's right. We're throwing Seinfeld in here too.
Seinfeld
too. Tuesday. Pat using language that's usually reserved for Marcus D'Angelo.
That's right.
There was some salty Marcus D'Angelo language on a Netflix broadcast. Dropping some mother effers. Referencing Pittsburgh. Who cares about Pennsylvania? We're very impressed. You guys can put French fries on a sandwich.
Great angle.
And they have the Kurt angle. Every time it's always the Iron Sheik voice. But Pat's promo was such a great Dusty Rhodes style, old school babyface promo that, when he gets straight up murdered, we're going to feel bad.
Yeah.
I mean, look, he even made defending Michael Cole seem like a viable position to be in.
Look, getting that Michael Cole chant, that's an accomplishment in itself, I think, right there. So,
dude, they got Michael Cole over between his heroic return last week and then this week.
Yeah. It's quite the feat. I'm excited though for that. Gunther and Pat, no matter how they pan that out, whether Pat gets squashed, it's compelling stuff. Compelling stuff, Robert. What else were we compelled by? Can you tell I'm scrolling down to the
main event? The main event. That's what we got. That's what was compelling. That's what we were compelled by. We had the Seth Rollins, Sami Zayn confrontation. Seth again begging his friend to take the pass. Sami not accepting this situation and saying, like, not only am I not accepting this, I know this is not who you are, and more importantly, I will be a world champion.
Yes.
There's your manifesto. And then Braun Breaker speared Sami Zayn 213 times.
And they wanted one more time. Did you hear that? The crowd chanted one more time.
This is I blame the WrestleMania crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone was playing along beautifully. Our friends in Europe understood the tasks, the assignment. Now everyone wants to be snarky and cool. Just go and watch the show. Just enjoy the show. You don't have to be like, one more time. No. They've tried to program this where who's our most beloved guy? Sami Zayn. We'll feed him to Seth Rollins. The crowd's going to cheer Sami. They're going to boo Seth Rollins. Who's our most beloved personality? Pat McAfee. We're going to feed him to Gunther. So that crowd boos the hell out of Gunther. Who's the most hated man that we have on the roster to take on Jey Uso? I know, Logan Paul. They are really idiot-proofing this show. Oh, crowd wants to cheer John Cena? Let's put him against the guy who's from St. Louis, Missouri, Randy Orton.
Yeah.
People want to do what they want to do.
That's it. It's a head scratcher. I don't get it. You're helping the wrestlers out if you boo them if they're heels and you cheer them if they're.
By the way, so Cammy Star has a comment here, and he goes, "What's wrong with snarky? I base my personality on snarky. You can say that I don't believe there's any room for snark in wrestling. And you can follow me on Twitter at WWCreative_ISH to better understand how truly serious I take this art form. Raw ended with Seth Rollins stomping Sami Zayn in the head. He is a damn dastardly, dirty heel. And we now get to take this journey of where this visionary group is going. And you can take that journey with us every Monday through Friday at noon Eastern on a plethora of platforms that are not at all snarky, including the WWCreative_ISH X account, the at Dominic D'Angelo X account, where you can see Marcus D'Angelo cut an earnest, heartfelt, babyface promo that we know is a load of crap because he's heel. He's a foul-mouthed, monstrous heel, unlike your other brother who looks exactly like Drew Gulak. Can we just admit that?
He's gotten that plenty of times.
There's a third D'Angelo, which I didn't know. Skippy D'Angelo. And Skippy looks just like Drew Gulak. You can also catch us on the at SE Scoops on X, as well as on YouTube, on Rumor and Innuendo, ad-free shows, and Working Stiff. You got no excuses. We're everywhere in video. We're everywhere on audio. We are here Monday through Friday. There is no place I would rather be than South Florida and not Pittsburgh. I'm joking. There's no place I'd rather be than right here with all of you and with my intrepid co-host. So on behalf of why you got to do that? I'm trying to be not you doing all this just the wildly gesticulating and distracting Dominic D'Angelo. I'm Robert Karpolis. Best of luck in your future endeavors.
Hey, I'm a